It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life and breaks them and ends the circle. And I hope people find it inspiring, and yet also, you know, it's a film about a heavy topic. It's about domestic violence.
Forget the flashbulbs, the designer gowns, and the carefully orchestrated celebrity appearances. Right now, Blake Lively finds herself in a far less glamorous, far more precarious position. The very foundation of her carefully constructed public image, the image of a talented, independent, and ethically driven actress, is being systematically challenged. This isn't a simple PR hiccup or a minor celebrity spat. It's a full-scale reputational crisis ignited by a digital inferno, courtesy of her It Ends With Us co-star, Justin Baldoni. This isn't merely a question of who's telling the truth. It's a battle for legacy, for career survival, and for control of the narrative in a world where perception is often reality. Can Blake Lively, a master of crafting her public persona, possibly navigate this treacherous terrain and emerge with her reputation intact? Or will the revelations on Justin Baldoni's website unravel the carefully woven tapestry of her Hollywood success? The stakes, to put it mildly, are astronomical.
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, you know, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. Like, that's what I'm grateful for.
You know, here's this name of this writer that cut through. That was interesting to me because, like, you know, in older generations, you know, everybody was listening to the same radio shows, you know.
In the not so distant past, Blake Lively held the high ground. She skillfully painted a picture of Justin Baldoni as a director and co-star who not only created a hostile work environment, but actively undermined her creative contributions. The accusations were pointed and emotionally charged. Claims of inappropriate behavior during intimate scenes, a disregard for established industry protocols, and a general atmosphere of disrespect and manipulation. Capitalizing on the burgeoning Me Too movement and the growing awareness of power imbalances in Hollywood, Blake's narrative resonated deeply with the public. She was hailed as a brave voice standing up for ethical conduct and artistic integrity. Media outlets amplified her claims, often presenting them as irrefutable truths. Social media exploded with support, transforming Blake into a symbol of empowerment and Justin into a pariah. The carefully crafted image of Blake Lively as a victimized artist became the dominant narrative, effectively silencing dissenting voices and solidifying her position as the injured party. But was this meticulously constructed narrative truly reflective of the complex reality behind the scenes?
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I am a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
The narrative dominance Blake Lively enjoyed began to crumble the moment Justin Baldoni launched his website, a meticulously designed digital platform intended to serve as a comprehensive counter-narrative. This wasn't a reactive press release or a carefully worded statement issued through intermediaries. It was a calculated and proactive offensive, a declaration of war on Blake's established storyline. The website, presented as a repository of raw data, offered a multifaceted challenge to Blake's accusations. It contained legal filings, granting access to the intricate details of the ongoing legal battles. It featured behind-the-scenes footage, offering glimpses into the on-set dynamics that contradicted Blake's portrayal of a consistently hostile environment. And, most crucially, it showcased the infamous text message exchanges, presented in their entirety and meticulously time-stamped as evidence against Blake's claims of being marginalized and disrespected. By branding the website as a source of raw data, Justin strategically positioned himself as a purveyor of unfiltered truth truth, implicitly accusing Blake of manipulating the narrative through selective disclosure and biased interpretation. The launch of this website marked a turning point in the conflict, transforming it from a one-sided PR battle into a complex and multi-layered digital war.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people maybe, and then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
One of the most inflammatory aspects of Blake Lively's initial accusations centered around the alleged disregard for professional boundaries during the filming of intimate scenes. She suggested that Justin Baldoni had created an atmosphere of discomfort and vulnerability, implying a lack of proper protocols and a disregard for her well-being. This claim, laden with the weight of the Me Too movement, triggered widespread outrage and significantly damaged Justin's reputation. However, Justin's website presents a counter-narrative, offering documentation that challenges Blake's portrayal of a lawless and unsafe set. Internal production emails, detailed schedules, and testimonies from other crew members purportedly demonstrate the presence of independent intimacy coordinators, regular check-in procedures to assess comfort levels, and readily available support systems for anyone experiencing discomfort or unease. This evidence, if deemed credible, casts a shadow of doubt on Blake's claims, suggesting that professional protocols were indeed in place and that efforts were made to ensure the well-being of all performers. The central question then becomes, did Blake Lively genuinely feel unsafe despite these protocols, or did her perception of the situation differ significantly from the reality documented by the production team? The answer to this question remains elusive, but the conflicting accounts presented on Justin's website have undeniably complicated the narrative and muddied the waters of public opinion.
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you, and I'm sorry that has happened to you before, and I hope after this experience there will be a new I don't know. I hope it'll be healing in some way, because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial, just like you, and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found, No More, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's gonna be special, and you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm gonna stop rambling, because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 in the morning. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
The text message exchanges, those seemingly innocuous strings of digital communication, have become ground zero in the battle for narrative supremacy. Blake's initial deployment of carefully selected snippets was a masterclass in framing, casting her as the vigilant guardian of artistic integrity, bravely battling against an insensitive and perhaps even incompetent director. These strategically chosen excerpts suggested a tireless advocate for the story, constantly pushing back against Justin's potentially misguided vision. The implied narrative, Blake, a creative powerhouse, was forced to wrestle control from a director who lacked the vision or sensitivity to do justice to the source material. Justin's response? Total digital transparency. He unleashed the full, unedited conversations upon the world, complete with those all-important timestamps, arguing that these unvarnished exchanges expose a vastly different reality. But here's where things get truly fascinating. The devil, as they say, is in the interpretation. Justin's team alleges that these messages depict Blake as a figure far more assertive, even demanding, than the public has ever perceived. They point to frequent last-minute requests for script rewrites, often delivered with a sense of urgency. They highlight Blake's insistence on previewing and approving daily footage, a level of control rarely granted to actors. And they underscore what they perceive as subtle threats to boycott promotional events if her creative vision wasn't fully realized.
it's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have two other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
But let's not jump to conclusions. A closer examination of these messages reveals a complex tapestry of communication, rife with ambiguity and open to multiple interpretations. Could those demands for rewrites actually be passionate suggestions aimed at improving the script? Could the insistence on reviewing dailies be a sign of her deep commitment to the project, a desire to ensure its quality rather than a power play? And could those veiled threats of boycotting promotional events simply be a strategic negotiation tactic, a way to ensure her voice was heard and her creative concerns were addressed? The beauty and the danger of these text messages lies in their inherent ambiguity. They offer a tantalizing glimpse into the creative process, but they lack the context, the body language, and the unspoken cues that are essential to fully understand the dynamics at play. The messages can be read as evidence of Blake's domineering control, or as evidence of her passionate dedication to the project. They can be interpreted as a sign of her insecurity and need for validation, or as a sign of her strategic savvy in navigating the complex world of Hollywood. Ultimately, the text message timeline offers a Rorschach test for the public. What you see in those messages likely reflects your pre-existing biases, your preconceived notions about Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, and the power dynamics of Hollywood. The truth, as always, is far more elusive and far more complex than a simple string of digital words can convey. The question remains, did these messages document power plays and creative control, or did they document the organic but complicated path to create It Ends With Us?
And find my way back to center. That is one thing I can assure you of. And I'm sorry I made you feel that way. That must have felt terrible. And I will for sure do better. That was not my best weekend, and I should have given it more time. And damn right, you got great friends if that's how you felt and they knew that. And we should all have friends like that, aside from the fact that they're two of the most creative people on the planet. The three of you guys together, it's unbelievable. Talk about energy and just a force, all three of you. But I just wanted you to know that I didn't need that, because it's really good and it's gonna make the movie sing like you said, and I'm excited to go through the whole movie with you. I'm just excited to spend time with you. I'm excited to be in your sphere and your presence, and for us to share creative juices together, although that sounds terrible. I think you and I have been trying to build a relationship, which I think we've done successfully. I mean, here we are.
An undeniable yet largely unspoken element of this entire saga is the looming presence of Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's husband and one of Hollywood's most recognizable and influential figures. While publicly celebrated for his quick wit and carefully constructed online persona, Reynolds has also earned a reputation as a fierce protector of his family and a shrewd negotiator behind the scenes. Rumors have circulated for years about his willingness to use his considerable influence to advocate for Blake's interests, and sources close to the It Ends With Us production suggest that this pattern continued during the film's creation. Allegedly, Reynolds directly confronted Justin Baldoni on multiple occasions regarding perceived slights against Blake, creating a tense and potentially intimidating atmosphere on set. Justin's legal team strategically suggests that Reynolds' unparalleled fame and Blake's own established position in Hollywood created a power imbalance that forced Justin to tread carefully, potentially hindering his ability to assert his own creative vision and effectively manage the production. This raises a crucial question. Did the pervasive influence of the Reynolds-Lively power couple unintentionally stifle Justin Baldoni's autonomy and shape the creative landscape of the film in a way that unfairly disadvantaged him?
I'm honored, and I'm also more honored that because, what we're talking about is so important and so meaningful, that we're able to have this much anticipation, and so many people want to go see it and are talking about it. That's what I'm grateful for.
And you had a key part in bringing it to the big screen. How did this all come to be?
Well, in 2019, I read the book. I was sent the book by my book agent and friend at the time, and I was looking for films that could inspire, that were commercially viable, but also could really reach in and touch somebody's heart.
The details surrounding a private meeting held at Ryan and Blake's residence have become a particularly contentious point in this unfolding drama. Blake's camp initially presented this meeting as a cordial attempt to resolve creative differences through open dialogue and mutual understanding. Justin Baldoni, however, paints a starkly contrasting picture, characterizing the encounter as a tense and potentially hostile confrontation in which he felt pressured to concede to unreasonable demands. The text messages presented as evidence purportedly reveal a distinctly curt and assertive tone from Blake, who allegedly implied that a failure to align with her creative vision would result in the full force of her Hollywood connections being unleashed against him. While the ambiguity of written communication makes it difficult to definitively ascertain the true nature of the meeting, the implications are nonetheless significant. Did Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, acting as a united front, use their combined power and influence to intimidate Justin Baldoni and force him to comply with their creative demands? Or was Justin misinterpreting their intentions, projecting his own anxieties and insecurities onto a situation that was intended to be collaborative and constructive? The answer remains shrouded in speculation, but the differing accounts have undeniably fueled the perception of a power struggle playing out behind closed doors in the exclusive enclaves of Hollywood.
Talking like this, me into my phone at 2 in the morning, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there and has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being hardworking and
the timing of
having a
Justin
vision
Baldoni's
and not,
digital offensive raises
settling.
a fundamental question. Why now? Why wait until months after the initial accusations surfaced to launch such a comprehensive and potentially damaging counterattack? Justin's legal team maintains that this delay was strategic, allowing them to meticulously gather all relevant information and construct a cohesive narrative before responding to what they view as Blake Lively's carefully orchestrated PR campaign. They allege that Blake's team deliberately circumvented established legal protocols by selectively leaking damaging materials to the media, thereby poisoning public opinion and forcing Justin to defend himself in the court of public opinion. The reaction from Blake Lively and her representatives has reportedly been one of shock, disbelief, and intense damage control. Sources suggest that she never anticipated the sheer volume of evidence that Justin Baldoni had amassed, nor did she foresee his willingness to expose it so publicly and comprehensively. Speculation is rife that she is now exploring various legal strategies to suppress the dissemination of this information, potentially arguing that Justin's actions constitute defamation or interference with ongoing legal proceedings. Alternatively, she may attempt to launch a counter-PR offensive, seeking to reframe the narrative and portray herself as the victim of a relentless and vengeful campaign designed to destroy her reputation and career. Whatever her next move, it is clear that Blake Lively finds herself in a precarious and rapidly evolving situation, facing the greatest challenge of her career.
Hey Blake, it is 2 in the morning. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow, there's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just gonna send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not gonna be more than a few minutes, but that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and I'm really...
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious for her.
This is far more than just a petty squabble between co-stars or a momentary lapse in celebrity judgment. It's a high-stakes Hollywood drama playing out on a global stage with the potential to reshape careers and legacies. The power dynamics within the entertainment industry are being laid bare, the fragility of celebrity reputations is being exposed, and the very nature of truth and narrative is being questioned in the digital age. As rumors continue to circulate regarding additional unreleased text messages, potentially damaging video footage, and behind-the-scenes accounts, the saga promises to become even more complex and contentious. As the avalanche of evidence continues to pour onto Justin Baldoni's meticulously curated website, the ultimate question remains: how far is Blake Lively willing to go to salvage her standing in an industry that is suddenly scrutinizing her every move with unprecedented intensity? And perhaps even more importantly, can she successfully navigate this treacherous landscape and reclaim the narrative? Or will she forever be defined by the revelations and accusations that have emerged from this digital battleground? The future of Blake Lively's career, and perhaps even her carefully cultivated public persona, hangs precariously in the balance.